Hi there, Andrew Bell with you. And here we go into the last quarter of the year, and usually the busiest quarter for most of us. I've mentioned on a number of occasions throughout this year that I think the biggest issue facing Australia at present economically, and therefore impacting on many areas of the economy such as real estate market, is the lack of wages growth. If Australian households are not earning more money every year, then the existing income that they have is ever increasingly consumed by rising costs of living. Not only do we have the existing weekly household items, but increasingly Australians are adding additional costs to their household budgets, whether that's Netflix, Spotify, or any number of new apps that come out all of the time. What we are seeing is that without wages growth, people are saving less and less, and they don't have a lot of disposable income for other expenditure. It is ultimately this lack of savings that has an effect on the real estate market, as people don't have the increased amounts of money to pay higher prices for real estate. We are blessed here on the Gold Coast that there is somewhat of an offset by the downsizers who are selling their interstate properties for sizable amounts and are cashed up and able to buy here on the Gold Coast. But that won't last forever. It was interesting to see the latest figure on wages growth, where we see that the growth remains unchanged at 2.3% per annum, despite the slightest increase in the June quarter. That wages growth pretty much offsets some of the KPI increases we're experiencing on our existing budgets at present. Wages growth is very much aligned to unemployment. Now, when unemployment rises, you will see no upward pressure on wages. People aren't concerned about seeking a wage increase when they know they're just lucky to keep their jobs. There were hopes, as unemployment had been falling in recent years, that we would start to see a pickup in wages growth. But as unemployment came down to 5.2% bracket, we started to see the impact of the trade wars and other economic challenges globally, and that has resulted in the recent announcement that unemployment actually had risen to 5.3%. There is no real prospect of wages growth in the near future, which means that whilst we have an economy in positive growth, and certainly one of the better ones in the Western world, we're a long way short of party time. What is confusing for many Australians is what to do with whatever savings they have or what investment strategies to undertake. There's no point leaving money in the bank these days, as there is negligible interest paid on those deposits. Now, the stock market's been so volatile, and that was more than evident again in the last 10 days or so. There is that feeling that real estate continues to be the best option, as it's real, it's bricks and mortar, and it's based on the premise that everyone in Australia needs somewhere to live. And we have an ever-increasing growing population and therefore an ever-growing demand for real estate. Real estate has served so many people so well over the past century, it's no surprise that it remains the foundation of most Australians' wealth. The activity in the real estate market was again evident at last week's auctions, with a packed auction room and with a host of buyers vying to secure their preferred piece of real estate. A lot of competition allowing the market to determine current values, and pleasingly, they reflected strongly at the auction, with many properties, both residential and commercial, selling under the hammer. Quite a number were sold prior to, and of those that passed in on the day, most have gone to contract over the last week. Steady as she goes seems to be the order of the day for the real estate market, and the reality is that even with modest to medium price growth, the longer people put off locking in their real estate purchases, the higher the prices they'll have to pay. That's it for this fortnight. I look forward to catching up with you in 2 weeks' time. Until then, make the most of this beautiful country and use our beautiful weather for plenty of exercise, eat well, and let's look after one another.